Hey everyone, it's Wednesday. It's time for Wives Wind Down. Yes. Hello, hello, hello. So glad y'all are here. So glad you could make it tonight. It's that time. Grab your girls, grab your drinks, because y'all know we toast it up. Whatever your fancy is, whether it's wine, whether it's water, a little juice or something, whatever's your fancy. Like, just join in and join the conversation, because we're going to keep going to have a good time as we do always, and we're going to keep it real. Hey Renita, hi sis. Hey True Essence. Hey 𝗪𝗏71. I see y'all. Thanks for being here. For those of y'all who are new to Wives Wind Down, welcome. For those who are my day ones and y'all are here like every week on time, shout out to y'all, and I'm so glad that you're here. My name is Shonda White, and I'm your lovely host. And I've been married for 12 years, and I decided to start this outlet and this show in the middle of the pandemic, yes, because I felt like we needed an outlet where we as women, whether you're single, whether you're married and you aspire to be married, I wanted to create a comfortable and a real outlet and pull back the curtain on marriage and talk about what it really takes to like stay married. We always talk about like how to get a man. Hey Lexi, hey Danny, yes. We always talk about like what it takes to get a man and all that stuff, but it's like once you get married, what does it mean to like really be a wife, and what does it mean to like have a lasting marriage? And I'm so excited about tonight's guest because she knows, because she is where we all aspire to be, you know. So I'm so excited about that, but that's why I created it. And I really have a heart and a passion. I feel like my life's purpose, part of it is to encourage and empower women through life and love, real talk. And so we keep it real on here. We keep it honest. We also have a good old great time. So make sure you interact with us, chat it up in the chat, leave your comments, because this is that place. This is that safe place where we talk about whatever it is. And even if you have questions on your mind, you can always submit those as well. Hey, Beige Marie, I think. Hey girl, hey. I see y'all coming in. Yes. But yes, I am so appreciative. Shout out to everyone. We are praying tonight that we will have power. Our wonderful guest actually is in Texas, which I was unaware until today. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like, Wives Wind Down is the least of your worries. But she was like, no, we're going to try to do this. So as soon as she comes on, we're praying that she has power, that she make it on. So y'all just drop those prayer hands in the chat already, because we're going to claim it. And, you know, worst comes worst, we'll make it work. But shout out to this beautiful sweatshirt that says Spoiled Wives Club. So shout out if you're married or maybe you want to be in the club one day. Shout out to, this is a Black owned company as well. So you can find them on Instagram as well. Yes. Oh, Danny, she said, so am I. My power just came back in. Oh my gosh. Sending positive vibes to you, Danny. Oh my goodness. We are so lifting you all up. We have family and friends in Texas, in Kentucky, in Tennessee, and a lot of the places that got hit. But Texas, you all are really like going through it. So we are sending so much love to you. I'm so glad that your power just came back on. And I'm even more honored and appreciative that like your power just came on, but you are here for Wives Wind Down. So like y'all gonna make me cry tonight. Like, thank you for joining. That like means the world to me, because I'm like, if out of all things you could be doing, you are here tonight. So thank you. What up, Tommy? Shout out to Tommy. I see you. He did my anniversary video. What's up, Tommy? I ain't forgot about you, bro. That's my dog. Hey Robin. Hey Miss K. And there she is. Y'all see, prayer works. Here she comes. Here she comes, y'all. Y'all get ready. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Yes.
Hi, Shonda.
Look at God.
How are you?
Oh my goodness. I am completely happy and thankful and honored. How are you doing? Because listen, we were just talking about the Texas, and I know that this is a sacrifice for you. And I told you earlier, I'm like, it's okay. If you can't make it, we can reschedule. But look at God, you are on here. So how are you doing?
No, I would not have canceled unless it was dire. I'm doing good. I'm doing good, Shonda. We don't have all the creature comforts that we're accustomed to. We're having weather patterns that we're totally not accustomed to. But we're alive. We're well. We're inside. Of course, we can't go outside. We're running out of food, but we're making do. So no complaints here. It could have been worse.
Oh my goodness. Somebody on here said their power just came on. So I'm just appreciative to you and to Danny that's in the comments, like, for you all. Just I can't even imagine what you all are going through. I've experienced ice storms when I was growing up in Kentucky, but like losing the power and all that and running out of food, I'm like, I wish there was something we could do for you all right now. Like, I just want to like Zoom my power or some groceries your way. And I'm like, but I can't.
You can. Yeah, this kind of blindsided us. We kind of thought maybe a day or so, but we did not anticipate this at all. But like I said, it could be worse. There are people who haven't had power in 48 hours. My daughter is here. She lives a little over a mile away. She hasn't had power in 2 days. So at least we have power. She has no power, no water. We have power and water. And we have life, and we're together.
Oh, Lord, I've got to get it together, keep it together. And let me tell you,
how are you?
You don't look like what you're currently going through, because you look amazing. Like, you just stay fly. Like, I'm like, my girl just stays fly. Even
it's just the makeup and all of that stuff. But but like I said, Shonda, we're grateful. You know, I think COVID prepared us for this. After going through a year of COVID, I mean, what else can surprise us? You know what I'm saying? So,
amen to that.
Here we are. Like I said, I'm happy to be here.
Yes, I told somebody that yesterday in our little small group for church, and they were like, "It's cold here." I said, "Guys, it's cold, but it could be a lot worse. Like, we have power, we have water. It could be a lot worse. It's not that cold outside." So,
and lives have been lost here.
Yeah,
you know, there's been a huge pile up, and people have died, and so, you know.
Yes.
What are we complaining about?
Exactly. And they already talking about in the chat, they say, "You're blessed to be together." Prayers going up for Ma Dukes and her family and other Texans. And everybody, somebody said amen. Like,
thank you.
You are such a ray of light. And let me introduce you to the people before we get into it and have some fun girl time. I just want to hug you so much.
Aww.
Okay, so for those of you all who may not know, Mrs. Sharon Richards, a native of Jamaica, one of my favorite places, is a wife, mother, glam mom, fitness guru, and the go-to travel agent with over 25 years of experience, including having traveled the world with her Olympic gold medalist and champion daughter. Ma Dukes has been married for 36 years to her loving husband, and they're constantly inspiring others through their love and examples of what a fresh, fly, and fun marriage can look like. So everybody, clap it up in the chat for Ma Dukes. Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, I love it. So let's get into it. We've talked about how you're doing. How have you been during like quarantine pre this treacherous winter storm? How's that been for you?
Well, to be honest, Shonda, quarantine started to kind of get to me. And so I was, I guess, one of the very few people who decided to take a vacation, because staying home was just, you know, I started to feel like the world was caving in on me, you know, because I travel a lot on business and personally. And so initially I was coping, and, you know, you talk yourself through it and you tell yourself, oh, everybody's going through it, so it should be okay. Da, da, da. And then there came a point, my husband and I were saying, we're going to start looking like the walls in this house. So we safely took a 10-day vacation to Jamaica. And let me tell you something. When we came back, we were good. We were good. And that was what? I don't even remember. No, that was my birthday. So it was in September that we went for 10 days and we came back. And since then, we've been good. But I can't imagine people who have been home. You know, I know, of course, as a travel agent, people's trips have been canceled, weddings have been canceled, or, you know, all the travel has been canceled because, of course, people are fearful. You know, I went on a vacation. It was absolutely safe. The protocols were amazing, and came back. But, of course, I understand that people, you know, are weary of traveling at this time. So, personally, I've been doing good. We've been doing good.
I love that. Yes, and I just love your honesty, because like you said, you know, people can look at social media and think like, oh, well, they fine. And you like, no, it really started to get to me. And for like my husband and I, we actually haven't been anywhere. We haven't felt comfortable with traveling yet. So we're missing it like crazy. We actually went on a trip right before it hit. So like, I'm glad that you and your husband were able to go and like reset. And I'm like, oh, that just sounds so beautiful. And of course, Jamaica is just beautiful, but
Yes, ma'am.
I'm glad that you was able to have that reset and that you were cognizant of like, I'm not doing well. Like
Right.
we
Yeah,
need
no,
to take a
I
break.
was not doing well. And the truth is, my husband was kind of weary because he was like, darling, I don't know if we can, deal with this exposure. And I said, we have to. And it was just amazing. Like I said, everything was safe from start to finish. This might sound selfish, but we had the resort to ourselves. So we were just living the life.
Yes, that doesn't sound selfish at all. That sounds like a dream come true.
For 10 days, girl, 10 days.
That's what I'm talking about. Get into it. Now, let's go back. And I shout out to Sonya. I saw her in the chat. She's like, that's my mommy. And we like, yeah, girl, we love your
Is she
mommy.
here?
And we love you too. Yes, she was in there earlier. Yes. And somebody
At
just
work,
said,
so I'm surprised she was in.
I know, right? Someone just said it's important to say it out loud when you are not doing well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. So we want to know, let's go back to the beginning. How did you and your husband first meet?
Okay. So my husband was my brother's best friend. And I didn't really know him, but I knew of him because, of course, older brothers don't expose their friends to their baby sisters.
Yes, I have an older brother.
Exactly, because he was very protective of me. Anyway, one day I was riding with him in the car, and he stopped at my husband's home, but he left me in the car. Went inside, and I was sitting in the car, and out came my husband, and he was like, "Who is that?" He was like, "You didn't tell me you have a little sister?" And my brother was like, "Go away. Leave her alone." Well, he didn't take that advice very well, Shonda. And from there on, he literally started visiting my home. He never visited my home before. I think my brother always visited with him. He started stopping by the house regularly, and then he would start calling. And then I started to think he's kind of cute. He's bow-legged, and he's a soccer player. And I'm like, In the meantime, my brother was not happy because, of course, no brother wants his best friend to date his sister because now the whole thing is messed up.
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
And so I tried my best to push him away, my best, but he was insistent that he was going to date me. And so he just kept coming around. I kept liking him more, kept thinking he was cute more. And then we started dating. And then, of course, the friendship started to change a little bit because now my brother was not happy, but I was.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is the sweetest, funnest story. And I love that you said, this is a major theme. And with all the wives that I have on here, a lot of times I hear the same thing, that he was persistent and he was insistent about like being with you. And I love that you said that, because for me, especially for our single ladies, because we have single and married ladies on here. And I just think that is so important. I'm so glad that you said that, because you was kind of like, nah, I'm good. But he was persistent. He made it known, like, no, I want you to be my girl.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't saying it, but he was pushy, boy. He was pushy.
Yes.
And then, like I said, I started to fall for him too. So it was like, So yeah, that was how this love story started.
Oh, I love that. They're already saying, they say a beautiful couple indeed. Yes, they are. If y'all have not been to her Instagram, and I can just sense the genuineness. I'm like, yes, y'all look beautiful on the outside, but I can feel the genuine love like from the inside out as well. So I just love that.
Well, people say that all the time, and we hope that's how it comes through, so it's nice to read it.
Yes. Oh, I love that. One of the things that you said on one of your social media posts, you said, life has taught us that love is not just looking at each other, it's looking in the same direction. And I think that's so important about like having a same vision. Like, what is your vision for your marriage, and where do you see things going? Was this something that you and your husband talked about like early on before you even got married, like, or did that come like later?
No, and I'll be honest here. For the majority of our marriage, I would say, Shonda, my husband and I had slightly different views, particularly because we were involved in our daughter's life. And she's a professional athlete. And of course, as a mother, I was, of course, you know, the comforter, and her dad was more the go-getter. And so there was a whole lot of times that we would hit heads, you know, because I would be like, don't push her. And he'd be like, back up. She's got it in her. So, you know, and so for a long time, we were kind of pulling in opposite directions. But I think that was mainly because, you know, we were involved in our daughter's professional life, you know, and we kind of dealt with things differently. You know, I always felt like even though we managed her career, I was always a soft shoulder for her to land on. And for her dad, it's like, she'll be all right.
Yeah.
You know, she'll be all right. She can get up, brush herself off, and she'll be all right. So for a long time, our lives were kind of intertwined with her professional life. Hence, you know, there was a lot of butting heads and stuff. But the moment we realized that we were kind of too tied up in her life, which would dictate our lives for way too long, and that we weren't kind of going in the same direction, we kind of changed tunes a little bit. And I'll say most of that fell on me, you know, where I had to stop for a little bit and realize that my husband is the head of the household, and I was pulling, you know. I wanted to be the one to make the decisions, and you know how we are as women. I won't speak for all women, but I had to stop and look in the mirror and back up some, you know. And since I did that, I think we started to look in the same direction. So by no means was this early in the marriage, you know, and I won't even pretend that it was early. But the moment we figured it out, that was it. You know?
I love that. They already said, somebody said, I love this lady, bro. It's so inspiring. This is why I wanted to have her on. Someone else said, I love the honesty. Yes, very inspiring. And you talk about the beginning, which is a perfect transition, because I love that you said that, because sometimes people may feel like, I'll admit my first few years, I felt lost. I was like, I don't know if we're on the same, like going in the same direction. So that's just inspiring to know that like you all overcame that. And I love this quote that you said on your page. You said, don't give up on love. The beginning is always the hardest part. Would you say the beginning was like the most difficult for you too?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I wish I could tell young marriages that it's not easy. I don't think that God meant it to be easy. I'm convinced he didn't. But what I do know is that as long as you love your spouse, as long as there's respect, there's communication, first of all, love and respect. I think you can work through things. I think people of today give up too easy on marriages. You know, it's almost like, oh, I can't be bothered. I'm out. You know, and all of this is at the expense of kids and all kinds of other things. And so, you know, I would say, don't give up on love. If it's real love, fight for it. And don't misunderstand me saying fight through spousal abuse or none of that. None of that. As long as there is genuine love and respect, and you both think that, or even if you started out on the same page and things start to get rocky, you know, ride the wave, you know, ride that wave, because you're gonna get back on track. Now, if there's no love, there's no respect, you just can't stand this person you're with anymore, then, you know, by all means, you've got to make a decision to change your situation.
That's good. Someone, hey Claudine, she said folks have a low tolerance for discomfort, which I think is so true, and speaks to what you were saying about how people are so quick to give up. People don't want to serve their spouse, or they want to be selfless. They're used to being selfish, and it's just hard to be like, oh, I got to think of somebody else before myself, or as I think of myself. Like, that's hard. Somebody asked a great question. Hey Amia, she said, how long was your beginning? Which I think is a good question, because beginning could be, I feel like my beginning, which was rough, was like the first 1 to 3 years, and then we found our rhythm. But what would you say was like your beginning?
My beginning, if I'm going to be honest, I would say is maybe the first 12 years or so.
That's real, my dukes. That's real.
About the first 12 years. Up to that point, I thought to myself time and time again, maybe I should try something different. This is too much. I don't think I can handle this, you know, but like I said, there was never any kind of abuse, any kind of disrespect, anything that would actually make me pull that trigger. And so, you know, I found reason to stick with it. And the main reason was that I love my husband. And I don't care what else happens, at the core of this relationship is love. And I think if there is real love, you can work through things if both parties are willing to do so.
That is a word. They going in on the comments. They like, woo, yes, like that's a word. And that was exactly what I was going to ask you, like, what, because you said there were days we thought we'd never make it, but we never stopped fighting for this love. We are living proof that tough times don't last, but tough people do. Absolutely. And I love that you said that. And like you said, it at the core of it was love. You know what, Shonda, there were times, you know, I'll be honest, that I would say I loved my husband, but I didn't like him. And I'm sure he would say the same thing, you know, because as we grew, we weren't quite the same people that we started out to be. But I don't think we wanted to accept the fact that, you know what, I'm getting older, my focus is changing, and maybe so is his, you know. And so there were times I would look at him and I'd be like, I don't like my husband. And then I look at him later and I'm like, oh, I love my husband. Yeah. Yeah. You know, they say women don't know what the heck we want. So that's it. So, you know, I think all of those things are normal in marriages. You know, don't get discouraged, you know, for women who are married and going through rough times, or for women who plan to get married. You know, you've got to ride the wave. You've got to find, the thing is that during all of that, I never lost myself. You know, I knew who I was throughout that whole time. I knew what I brought to the marriage, and I knew that my husband needed me. You know, he may never have said it, but you know, I felt like my husband needed me, and I needed him too. So I was like, we've got to work this out. You know, whatever it's going to take, we've got to work through this, you know. And so I think coming out on top now, where we can say from our hearts that we conquered this marriage thing, you know, we worked through it, I think is where I say tough people do. You know, I think I can say, you know, we are tough. We pull through this thing despite all the ups and downs. Woo! Ma Dukes, you are preaching tonight. And I just hope you know how much wisdom you are giving us so far and how much we're appreciative. Somebody said in the comments, I think it was Amia, she's like, thank you so much for having this wisdom. Like, you are a pearl of wisdom. And I'm just so appreciative because, you know, I've had women from all backgrounds and experiences, but I especially knew that I wanted to have you on because I knew that you would just have that wisdom. And some of us, especially those who haven't been married as long as you have, like I said earlier on my post, like, you want to learn from people who are where you want to be. And so you being married 36 years, I'm like, I want to listen and learn from my dupes, like, because you're where we all want to be eventually. So I just hope you are just saying so much. Someone asked, I think it was Miss K, she said, and you kind of touched on a little bit, any encouragement for singles who are on the brink of giving up, which I thought was a great question.
Well, of course I got married at 21, going 22. So I'm not any authority on that subject because I did it real early. But, you know, I do have friends, and one of my sisters is still, so one of my oldest sisters, she's still single. And I think being single is absolutely phenomenal. I tell my single friends that y'all are winning. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't have to cook, you don't have to clean.
Tell them, my dude.
So it's not a bad thing. But if you're looking for love, one of the things that I think have told my friends over the years is that love finds you. You know, what I've noticed over time is that people who look for love never find real love. And I think if you're in the market for love, as I'll say, don't go looking for love. You know, back off, find yourself, live your best life, be your best self, and love finds you. You know, that's how I've seen it. Like I said, I've never been in a position, but that would be my advice to someone who's asked that question. You know, stop looking for it, you know, because it will find you. You know, just as my poor brother took me to that house one time and that man came out and the rest is history, you know? So, yeah.
Oh, I think that's perfect advice. Like, cause that was my experience. It's like, I was in a place where I was like, I'm good, Lord. Like, I'm fine. I'm new to Atlanta. Let me just do my thing. And like, when I least expected it and wasn't obsessed over it, cause I used to be obsessed over it, and I was good with me and learning how to love me, that's when it came. So
yes, ma'am.
Love finds you.
Love
that
finds
is
you.
Perfect. Oh, they said, say that, my Dukes. Oh my gosh. They said, love yourself first. Yes, I love that. This was a question I wanted to ask. I feel like a lot of times, especially couples those of us who haven't been married as long as you have, 36 years under the belt is a long time. But I feel like some of us have to remind ourselves to like not major in the minor, as I like to call it, in like the little petty stuff, or like just little arguments that maybe like that keep repeating themselves. Do you feel like time helps with that? Like, you know, time helps you kind of move past that, where you're not trying to change a person, or your expectations aren't like you expected him to clean like you clean, and you know good well he's not going to clean like you want him to clean. Like, do you feel like that gets better with time, or is that kind of just like, it's just a part of marriage, no matter how long you've been married?
So it's a combination of the two. Because first of all, the person you marry is not the person you're going to live with for the rest of your days. Because of course, you know, we all put our best feet forward when we're dating, right up until that point, till the ring goes on. Then comes the real person. Then comes the real person. So that's the first culture shock that you have to deal with. Okay. And then as time goes by, I think we all are now convinced that you can't change someone. You know what I'm saying? You can't change someone, but you certainly can help someone to be the best that they can be, you know? And so one of the things I'll use as an example, and I think most women will agree with me, is that our men do things in their time, okay? We want things done now. And so I know that there are a lot of fights in marriages because we ask our husbands, darling, can you do that? And he's like, yeah, I got it. And 3 days later, it's still there. You're like, you know what? Let me do the damn thing myself. and then men turn around and they're like, you emasculate me. You don't allow me to do what you asked me to do. So these are the things that over time you have to realize, and you have to gather the patience that it takes to say, you know what? I'm going to just pretend that thing doesn't need to be fixed. I'm just going to pretend that there's light coming out of that bulb, even though we know that it needs to be changed, and just allow him to change it, you know? But so it's the little things that I think most of the times the adjustments have to be made by the women, because we are the ones who want things perfect. We're the ones who want things done in our time. And it doesn't work for men. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you tell them. Nothing works. I think everybody will agree. I see Vicky. Vicky says, speak. Yes, Vicky. You know what I'm saying? So I think as you grow older, and even older in your relationships, you realize that you have to choose your battles.
Yes.
And I think it took me a long time to realize that. I'll be honest. Let me not lie. It took me a long, long time for me to realize that. And my husband kept saying, you know, you're emasculating me because you're not allowing me to do the things that the man is supposed to do. But I'm like, but you're not doing it in time. And then there'd be a huge fight. And so, you know what? I have just totally backed off now. And if it's something he's supposed to do, if the bulb doesn't have no light in it, it'll just stay there until light comes back in it, you know? And so I have chosen my battles, you know? And I find that life is good.
You are good. Preaching to me. I love that these comics too.
No.
Yeah, somebody said They said we just gonna ignore that smoke detector beeping though. Come on, Ma. Somebody else said, I tell him I'm gonna call 𝗪𝗲𝘲 and he fixes it. Listen, Ma Dukes, you was all up in my house, okay? Because I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to learn how to choose my battles because it is so important. Because you look up and you think about things, and COVID happens or somebody gets sick, and you just realize none of that stuff really matters. But
in the grand scheme of things, it does not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now the smoke detector does. Yeah,
that's
annoying
kind of as hell. Yeah, yeah. I'll fall off a chair to change that one. But now my husband has gotten much better with that. So thank you, Jesus.
That warmed my heart. Thank you for that, my Dukes. Because like I know, based on the chat, I needed to hear it, but a lot of other women needed to hear it, and it just goes. I just love your honesty because you like, listen, I wasn't always like that. It took me some time, and that's why I created.
It took me a long time, and I won't say sometime. It took a long time because I always wanted things perfect. Always.
That is real, and that's what we. Somebody said, "Where's my screwdriver?"
Screwdriver.
That's what we love because that's why I created this. Because we need some woman out there. Because sometimes we can beat ourselves up and think like, "Well, this is never ending," and it might not be never ending. But like you said, you have to choose your battles.
Yeah.
And you have to like focus on what's important. We can't major in the minor. So you have convicted me. But at the same time, it was with love, and so I receive it, and I'm like, okay,
ma'am.
Lord, I hear you.
Yes, ma'am. And men are from Mars, and women are from Venus. So think about that, ladies.
When you said men do things on their time, I said, well, there it is right there.
Yeah. And if you think it's your husband alone, just talk to your friend. You know what I'm saying? Because we all think that we're in this thing by ourselves. Just talk to your girlfriend.
Yes, that's how I felt my first few years. That's why I created Wives Wind Down, because there were moments where I felt so alone, like, and you feel like your marriage is going to crumble over some toilet paper or some smoke detector, when in actuality, other wives are going through the same thing.
Shonda. Some marriages have fallen apart over just nothing but foolishness, as I would say. You know?
Foolishness.
Just nitpicking and not keeping your eye on the prize, because that's important too. You know, you got to keep your eye on the prize. You know, why are we in this? Why are we staying in this? You know, a lot of times, and I'll say this over and over again when I talk to women, when we fleetingly decide that we're going to break up a household and we can handle it, but what about our kids? You know, who are we raising? You know, what do you want for your kids? I'm not saying stay in it and be tortured and be totally unhappy. But sometimes you got to just step back. You just got to step back and think about the big picture.
Yes. Someone asked, should we drop all our expectations for our husbands or in our marriage? And I'll let you answer that too, but I don't necessarily think it's about dropping expectations. I think it's about having clear expectations of like what, your husband, your wife, like.
Absolutely. And negotiate. It's almost like negotiate.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because I found that works.
Yes.
You know, I just negotiate with my husband.
Yes. I tell my husband, you want me to cook more? I need you to clean these dishes. I don't want to cook and clean the dishes.
Exactly. I said, darling, I'm cooking today. Can you do the dishes? Exactly. No problem. I'm like, darling, can you cook? I'll do the dishes. He's cooking. I don't really want to help. And I'm like, darling, do you need help? And I'm like, please, God, don't make him say yes. And most of the times he says no, you know? So I think negotiate is a good way to go.
Yes. You know? I love that. Thank you for that, my Dukes. That is great advice. Listen, I'm using negotiations and it's working. Most of the time it's working. One of your marriage secrets is that you two dance just about every day. Please tell us about this. Like, are y'all doing it during your workouts, or are y'all just turning on the music? Like, I need to know more. We need to know more.
A combination of both. So when I met my husband and the first time I went to his house, other than the first time I went in, opened his gate and went into the house, he was playing reggae music. And he had music lined up. These days we had, what do we call it? That turntable stuff and so on.
Yeah.
He had music, endless music, and I was a huge lover of music. And so that was kind of like one of the, wow, this has to be, or this is meant to be, that I would meet a guy that loves music as much as I do. And so because we both love music so much, we used to go to a lot of concerts. We went to a lot of reggae concerts in Jamaica. And we have always just loved dancing. If I had enough money to have a party just for the heck of a party, I would have parties endlessly. We just love dancing. And so it's norm for me to turn Pandora on in my bedroom, and we just dance for no reason. And we just dance. And workouts, we spend half the time dancing, because we both love to dance, and we just love dancing with each other. It's crazy. But all I got to do is turn it on, and I just rock, and he's there. Yeah. Really, we just love it.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That is just the sweet. When I saw you say that, I was like, oh my gosh, we need to dance more. Like, we'll do it every now and then, but I'm like, we need to get that in get that in rotation a little bit more, because we do like to dance. But
it's a nice feeling. It almost feels very flirtatious, and you know.
Yes. Oh yeah. Somebody said sensual. They said, I love that. Hey, Robin. Somebody said that's so beautiful. Claudine said the dancing keeps the romantics alive. That is so true.
It really does.
Now, in addition to dancing, do you have any other secrets you want to share with us? Like, dancing is one of your secrets. Do you have any other marriage secrets, a few or so, you want to share? Because I know the people are listening.
Right.
They're like, you're going to learn us tonight, my dude.
Well, one of the things that, I think keeps a marriage alive, we don't eat out a lot. So we don't go out. We don't go on a lot of date nights, because my husband doesn't eat out. He wants his wife to cook. So I'm always cooking. But I think that being touchy-feely is really, really cool. Meaning, I'm in the kitchen, and my husband will just come and he'll just hug on me, or he'll just touch me, or I'll just rub his head. It's just those little things, because of course I'm always doing something. And so, most of the times I really don't even have time to, but just touch me, just make me feel good, So that's one of the things I think needs to stay in a marriage, where you're almost flirting with each other all the time. Now, I know this, and some women will agree with this, that your husband feeling sexy to you, as my husband feels to me, is when he takes care of the little things that he has to take care of. So if he takes out the trash when he's supposed to, and like we said, fix the light bulb, those things to me are I'm just like,
me too.
Oh my God. So I wish more men would understand that we don't always have to go the whole way. Or if you want us to go the whole way, then you got to do nice things for us. And nice things for us doesn't mean buying us a Louis Vuitton purse or buying us flowers. It's really just holding down the things that you're supposed to. I think that's the sexiest thing in a marriage or in a relationship, period. I don't know.
Period.
So let's see. See, Fitwit says acts of service is sexy. Absolutely.
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 When my husband does the little things, when I see him pick up that hammer or that screwdriver, I'm like, ooh.
Yes. I feel you, my dude.
Yes.
I feel you.
It's a simple things. And I don't know that men know that. Men think we want more from them. And that's really all we want, to feel mushy, and then we can do what they want us to do all the time.
Yes.
One thing leads to another. It lends to that. And so if any of the men are listening, that's all we're asking. It's the little things, and we'll be everything to you that you would like us to be.
You do the little things and we'll be everything to you. My dukes, that's a word right there.
Yes, because we have proven as women that we can multitask. We can take care of everything. But sometimes it gets overwhelming for us,
Yes.
So.
Because our minds, like when my mind is clear and I'm relaxed,
Yes, ma'am.
It's
The
even
best
better.
wife ever.
Yeah, best wife ever. Because
Best
then
wife
it's like
ever.
I don't have to. Yes, we're great at multitasking, but like you said, it can be overwhelming.
It gets
So like,
overwhelming.
yeah, especially if you have children and young kids, and especially during this pandemic, I can only imagine because we don't have any children yet. But that's a lot. So like you said, doing those little things, you do the little things, and I'll be your everything.
Yep. And for us now, we vacation a lot. You know, every opportunity we get, because we don't dine out and stuff, we vacation. So that keeps it going, you know?
Yes, that's one thing I definitely regret about last year. It's like we weren't able to travel like we do, but we always take trips and traveling as much as we can because it's just refreshing and you turn off the world.
Life gets monotonous. You know, life gets monotonous.
Yes. Oh, one of these last questions, and then we'll move to the fun rapid fire round.
Okay.
You have this quote where it says, living my life not worried about getting older, but becoming a classic. Woo! My dukes. And I just want you to expound on that a bit more. And like, what does that mean to you? Like when you say that, what does that mean in terms of becoming a classic and not worrying about getting older?
Right. Well, for me, my health and wellness has always been top of the list. Even when my kids were younger, I still found time to take care of me, you know, because I felt like if I'm no good, then I'm no good to them, you know? And so my entire journey has been a fitness and wellness journey, you know? So I work out, I eat well, I do massages, I do facials, meaning I have a whole regimen that I've been doing for 36 years. And I've never wavered from it, you know. At times I felt like it might have been selfish, but in the grand scheme of things, I feel now like it was worth it. I never felt like I had to give up doing things or neglect doing things to take care of me, you know. And so I'm here now at 57 and I feel like 37.
And you look amazing.
Oh, thank you, Shonda. But that's because I took care of me. And you know, I hope, and I'm pretty sure, I think Sonia is on here, I hope at no time in her growing up, she felt like I took more care of me than I took care of everybody else. Because I gave them everything I have.
I'm sure she doesn't feel that.
But at the same time, I also knew that if I didn't take care of me, one day I would be no good to nobody, you know? And so I continue to live that life, Shonda. I continue to stay fit, eat well, take care of my skin, just do everything for me, for me. And so that's why I say, you know, I'll walk away as a classic, as against just tired, broken down. I'm tired. But like I said, I still feel alive and well. I can still be of service to my daughters. Now I have grandsons and I can still have fun with them, you know? So yeah.
Well, to answer your question, which we already know, Sonia said never. She never felt like that. So I just love that. I think a lot of times we assume what marriage looks like or what women look like, you know, traditionally based on traditions, or especially if you've been married 20 plus years, you've been married for 36 plus years, and people assume certain things. So I love that you are owning, you like, I've been doing self-care before self-care was a thing. Like you had your own regimen and you stayed true to that and you never lost yourself. And I just think that's a powerful word. And why I wanted to talk about that when I saw that quote, because, you know, we talk about it today and it sounds trendy and stuff, but like you sincerely own it for your own life. And the proof is in the pudding, my dukes. It's in the pudding. Yes.
You.
Somebody says self-love is important. Very wise woman, ain't she? And shout out to Nancy in the UK. We saw you in the chat. She says she's watching all the way from the UK. Yes.
Hi, Nancy.
Thank you for joining us, Nancy. I love that. Okay, so I have a few fun little questions before we wrap. Are you ready for
I am
those?
ready.
Yay. Okay. This has been, I'm like, we could go on for hours. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I could just seem like, what else do you need to tell me, my dukes? What else can I learn from you? Okay, so this is what we like to call the rapid fire round, and you all feel free. And if you all still have questions for my dukes, drop them in the chat. I'll try to catch them or send it through the questions little feature. And also drop your responses in the chat as well. Okay, so number one, PDA, are you here for it or no?
I'm here for it.
Okay.
I'm here for it.
I figured with the pictures and stuff, I'm like, yes, PDA.
I'm here for it.
This, I don't know if this is a tough one. I feel like I might know the answer, but Montego Bay or Negril?
Ooh, I would say Negril. I don't go to Negril enough, but Negril is just an absolutely beautiful town. The white sandy beaches, you get the beaches as well as the local experience. Yeah. So I go to Montego Bay way more often than I go to Negril, but I would say Negril.
That's good. That's good. That's actually where I got to visit, and I fell completely in love. Jamaica just makes you feel like you have a home, or that it's your home. Like, I love it. Yes. Who takes longer to get ready, you or your husband?
Oh gosh, that goes without saying. I do.
Really?
It's a lot of work.
Yes. Well, listen, the work pays off because you look amazing. Everybody keeps saying it the whole time. You look amazing.
I do not wake up like this.
Tell them, my dukes. Oh, I didn't need the chef because these bags under my eyes. Listen, I said, I need this concealer. Like, I had to pout, and you can still see them. But anyway, who's more the morning person, you or him?
Who's more
the morning person?
Oh, he is.
He is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I will stay up late at nights and I will sleep in. He stays up, but he gets up early.
Yes.
I've got to get 8 hours.
Yeah.
8 hours for me or it's a bust.
Right. It's a bust. You're like, you don't want to talk to me.
Yeah, no, 8 hours.
Who's more of the workout fitness guru, you or him? Like, who's the one that's like, we got to get it in? It's you. Yeah. I figured.
Yes, absolutely. My husband was a soccer player, and by nature he is slim, you know. And so he doesn't eat badly. He doesn't snack or anything. So he can live just like that, sitting on the couch, eating 3 squared meals a day, and he looks exactly the same. Whereas for me, I don't want to take the chance because I don't know that I'll be that lucky. Yeah. So I'm like, let's do it. Come on, let's do it.
Yes, listen, you motivate us all. I'm like, who? You had a quote on your page that said something like, take your time when it comes to fitness. And it's like, even if you're doing a little bit, you're doing more than the person that's on the couch. I'm like, yes. I just need to get off the couch.
Yes, indeed.
Who's more likely to apologize first, you or him?
Him.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah, I struggled with that for a long time. I've gotten way better. I would just walk away and I wouldn't speak for 24 hours and I was good. Because then when I don't speak for 24 hours, I don't have to cook. I don't have to clean. So it was a catch-22 for me, but I've gotten much, much better.
I just love
he receives it well, you know. Before he was like, man, you never apologize. Yeah. And I was like, I do, but I know in my heart I didn't. But now I'm good.
Oh, I love that. See, the growth. That's what I love, the growth. I love the journey. I love hearing about the journey. That just warms my heart. Who's more likely to initiate cuddling, you or him?
He is more cuddly than I am, I would say. Yeah, he is.
Interesting. Who's the better driver?
Ooh, that's a tough question because I'm a good driver and I can whip it, but my husband does most of the driving in the family. So I'll give him the nod because he has way more exposure than me. Because
Okay.
if
Okay.
we're going out together or as a family, he assumes the driving role always. So
Okay.
I'll give him that.
That is fair. I love how you position that. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Whip it.
What's
Hi, Deji.
Hey? What's harder?
Listen, Sonia says that's a tough one.
Yes.
I'm a pretty good driver.
And see, I would say that I am, but my husband, I know he's going to disagree. He'll be like, no, you're not. And I'm like, yes, I am. He's like, I've been driving in these ATL streets. Like, I know what I'm doing. I'm like, I know how to drive too.
Exactly.
What's harder? Keeping up with the grandbabies or keeping up when traveling with an Olympic champion?
Keeping up when traveling with an Olympic champion.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, she takes a lot out of me. But it's good. It's good. You know what, Shonda? I am so grateful for the life that she has afforded us, because it's not something that we ever imagined. We never imagined that we would have seen the world, especially traveling with our daughter. And so to her, we're extremely grateful and eternally grateful, because we got to do something in life that we never imagined we would have had the opportunity to do. So Sam, love you, baby. Thank you so much. We can't thank you enough.
Oh, I love it. Last question. What do you love most about being married?
What do I love most about being married? I would say it's quite a few things, you know. But I would say, you know, having a lifetime partner, you know, has meant a lot to me. And especially now that we're heading into our twilight years and things are so beautiful, I'm just eternally grateful that I did walk this journey. So, you know, I am just super happy with the choice I made, everything that came from it, the two amazing daughters that we had, the life that we have been able to live. So it's multifaceted. It's just so many things that I love about being married. But also having a confidant, you know, someone who understands you, is willing to listen to you. My husband is a good listener. My husband is a very positive guy. And even like today, when I said, Dad, I don't know if I can do it, he says, you got this, you know? And usually I can step out knowing that because he believes in me and he gave me the thumbs up, that I got it, you know? So it's a multifaceted question for me.
I don't know if you see all the hearts. Somebody said, I'm crying. Like, just to see, like, this is what 36 years looks like. This is what Black love looks like. And to see how you all are still so in love, and the way you talk about them, you can just feel it. That's why I'm sure people are emotional, because you can just feel the love. And that's what we love. Like, because there's so many, you know, negative messages out there about marriage and love and all this stuff. And it's like, no, like, this is the real deal. Like, this is what it feels like and what it looks like. And it doesn't feel like that every single day. Like, everybody has their ups and downs and seasons. But at the core, like you said earlier, at the core of it is love. And we feel it. We see it, my Dukes. And tonight, you have been amazing. Y'all go ahead and clap it up in the chat and grab y'all wine glasses, because
thank you guys. Thank you for joining.
Oh my gosh. And I'm so thankful again, because I'm like, with all that you all are going through with the power outages and the weather, like I told you, I'm like, listen, Wise Wind Down is the least of your worries, but the fact that you still showed up and you have poured, when I tell you have poured into us tonight, my Dukes, like, I hope you know that. And on that note, grab your drink if you have yours, water, wine, whatever's your fancy. Yes, you
ready? I'm a lightweight, but I showed up tonight. With a little Moscato.
Come on, my dude. Yes. I love it. So, someone did ask earlier. They said, does she have a book?
Do I have a book?
Well,
I don't. This is all I got.
Well, I'm just saying, as an author, I mean, you might have something, brewing. I mean, I don't know what the Lord has called you to do, but I'm just saying, my Dukes, you got a lot of wisdom, and I think the people are probably asking, do you have a book? And they're probably really asking, when are we going to be able to get a book, because you have poured so much into us tonight.
Never thought about it, but of course, you know, that's food for thought. That's food for thought.
Yeah, no pressure, but just something to sprinkle in your spirit.
Thank you.
Tell everyone how they can follow you, anything you want them to know, as well as what you are toasting to tonight.
Well, of course, you can follow me on Instagram at 𝗪𝗃_Sharon. And I just want to thank you, Shonda, because this is my very first live with outside of just doing a live with my daughter. And so it was a little nerve-wracking for me. So thank you. And I am toasting to the fact that I said yes to this, because a lot of times I'm like, I don't think I can, you know, and I would shy away from it. So tonight I did it. And thank you so much for having me.
Listen,
thank you.
You did it, but my Dukes, like, you did it. Like, if this is your first one, great, but I hope it's not your last, because you did it, and you did it flawlessly. You looked amazing, but more importantly, you poured out your heart and you gave us the realness that we want and expect every single week. So thank you for your yes. Like, you don't even know how much this has touched my soul tonight, but thank you for your yes. And I'm so glad that your husband pushed you and he encouraged you, but please know, somebody just said, I did not think you were shy. Listen, we couldn't tell, my Dukes. You were a complete natural, like, really.
Thank you. And I just want to say thanks to everybody who joined. And I see a lot of my followers are in here. Thank you, guys. You all know how much I love you. So thanks for joining.
Yes.
Again, Shonda.
They're saying that they said she is the real deal. Big up yourself, my Dukes. This was wonderful. Such positive energy all the time. You did amazing, my Dukes. We love you, my Dukes. Keep shining. Yes. And for those of you all who were late to come in, you can catch the replay. I will have this reposted once we wrap at the end, and it'll be on my IGTV, so you will have it. Because make sure you share, tell a friend, because my Dukes was spitting those gems. It's a lot of relationship experts and information and advice like that, but we don't need all that. My Dukes, okay? Like, she's been married for 36 years. She ain't new to this. She's true to this. So
awesome.
We want to hear from people who are where we want to be. So whether you single or married, this was just a blessing. And so y'all check out the replay, and then we'll be back the week after next, because we're bi-weekly. We'll be back for another episode of Wives Wind Down. And this is what we do every week. We keep it real, we keep it honest, and we have fun, and we just have some good old girl talk. So thank you again to everyone who joined in, for my day ones, and for those of you all who are new to the show. I am Shonda White, and my Dukes, thank you so much again for gracing us with your presence.
Shonda, thank you. Bye,
and y'all stay safe in Dallas, and let us know if there's anything that we can do to be of support and to help you guys, you know, especially once the dust settles. Let us know if there's anything we can do to help.
Will do.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.